The Francis Scott Key Bridge plunging into the water overnight after it was hit by a cargo container ship.
I wanted to know what the bang was. Ship hit the Key Bridge, sinking. The bridge is gone. Holy hell.
This begs the question, who's been the president in your lifetime who stood up to China? Right? We always heard this when I was growing up. Oh, China's the next great economy. And Donald Trump was the first guy to say that they were a paper tiger, that we can deal with them, step them back, and now we're right back in the same seat.
Thank you very much.
A ship hits one of our bridges and it collapses. And Steven Crowder's taking this opportunity to talk about China. What the hell does this have to do with China?
So really this bridge problem, it's just, we don't know what's going on right now, but it does highlight a systemic issue. We have not actually improved our infrastructure, not because we don't.
He posted this video live at a time where it had been known for hours exactly what happened. Basically, a ship hit the bridge and the bridge collapsed. There's tons of videos online, right? CNN had covered it extensively, right? All the major news networks that he likes to talk badly about. I mean, there's lots of issues with mainstream media for sure, but he likes to talk about how much crap they are. Well, they already told us what happened. They showed it on video. Yet he's live saying, we don't know what's going on. You really? Everybody else does. What else does he not know about?
So really this bridge problem, it's just, we don't know what's going on right now, but it does highlight a systemic issue. We have not actually improved our infrastructure, not because we don't have money, but because we've been more busy virtue signaling, going green.
Right. Yeah.
And also, of course, kickbacks to certain lobbying groups where we go, all right, let's improve our infrastructure, but we're not going to measure this by efficiency. We're not going to measure this by resiliency, by how practical it is, or even it being cost effective. It's if it's the right technology that we think sounds good on paper.
The collapse was literally caught on camera. We have it on video, or some clowns might say on tape in 2024. It's recorded. We have it on video. So we know what happened. It's not even a matter like the mainstream media is, you can't trust them. You don't got to trust the mainstream media. It's on video, right? Steven Crowder is the same guy who was promoting all these videos of these, suspicious stuff happening with the election, wagon gate. Oh, what's in the wagon? What's in the boxes, right? Very, just stuff that kind of, I don't really know what it is, so I'm just going to say it's something really bad, right? But here we have a video clearly showing a ship hitting a bridge, right? The story is being reported. The ship hit the bridge. It's on video. Now, in this case, all of a sudden, oh, we don't really know what's happening. Really? Right.
Infrastructure to enemies, who, by the way, I don't know if you know this, they don't really have the same regulations in China as it relates to emissions. Yeah.
Standards of quality?
Yeah.
Good there too?
You can see their smog from.
This is why I keep telling you guys, these folks are not, this is not a difference of opinion. Steven Crowder does not have a different opinion than I do. He doesn't have a different ideology than I do. At least that's not the point, right? He's not simply on here sharing his opinion and it just so happens to clash with the way that I think things. No, he is a liar propagandist who is pro-establishment, right? The establishment GOP wants to win. They want as much power as possible. And the way they do that is by demonizing their opponents. And that's what Steven Crowder is doing. He's not giving a genuine opinion about anything. This bridge was knocked down by a ship. This is not just some old crumbly bridge that was in disrepair that just simply collapsed. It was struck by a ship. And the type of bridge that it is such that any one component that you hit, the whole thing comes down. That is the design of the bridge. Now, you could critique the design of the bridge and why they choose to use the design. Is this a safe type of bridge to have? But Steven Crowder, who has millions and millions of subscribers, is out there putting in their heads the idea that this bridge just simply collapsed because it was in disrepair, and therefore demonizing the infrastructure bridge. Now, let me get you the hypocrisy of this. The infrastructure bridge, right? That is the infrastructure bill, which is the mechanism to repair bridges that are in disrepair and has been used to fix bridges all over the country, to fix roads all over the country. All of these improvements to our infrastructure, which is a result of the infrastructure bill, right? Which, when they were proposing it, I'm sure Steven Crowder was against it. So when you propose a bill to fix bridges and infrastructure, people like Steven Crowder go against it because he's an anti-liberal. He's not a conservative, he's an anti-liberal. Anything coming from the left, he's got to go against it, right? So you put together a bill to fix the bridges, right? He goes against it. And then when a bridge gets knocked over, a bridge that I'm sure was fine gets knocked over, he then pretends as if, oh, see, the infrastructure bill didn't even do anything. And then further in the video, he's showing all these sources of information about what the infrastructure bill was supposed to do and how much money it has, all irrelevant. But he doesn't care, right? All he cares about is promoting the GOP. I wonder how much money he gets behind the scenes from GOP folks to push this propaganda. Propaganda that makes propaganda MSNBC and CNN look like real journalism, in contrast. Interesting.
He posted this video live at a time where it had been known for hours exactly what happened. Basically, a ship hit the bridge and the bridge collapsed. There's tons of videos online, right? CNN had covered it extensively, right? All the major news networks that he likes to talk badly about. I mean, there's lots of issues with mainstream media for sure, but he likes to talk about how much crap they are. Well, they already told us what happened. They showed it on video. Yet he's live saying, we don't know what's going on. You really? Everybody else does. What else does he not know about?
And for those of you that think this is an honest mistake, I can guarantee you, if anyone, brings up the point to him that he was wrong, that it was a ship that hit the bridge, he's not going to back down. He's going to move the goalpost and say, with all that infrastructure money, they should have rebuilt a perfectly fine bridge with some newer bridge that wouldn't fall, just from a ship hitting it, right? Even though his original argument was, implying that the bridge just collapsed, it was in disrepair and it just fell over embarrassingly, right? There's no acknowledgement of that was false, right? There's a new story now of, oh, they should have built a better bridge, right? To other people, he's going to be able to wiggle around and say things like, oh, we didn't know, they were just saying that it fell, it was a breaking story. No, as I showed you, this was hours after it was revealed. I think it was pretty much right away revealed what happened because it's on video, right? So we knew right away. Before the sun came up on the East Coast, we knew right away. So this is to tell you definitively that he did not even try to look into the story at all. I think the left looked into Jacob Blake far more than Steven Crowder looked into this. Steven Crowder, I think he was one who showed like the 911 call, and he definitely showed the two angles of the Jacob Blake thing, right? Revealing what was not being covered by the left, right? But I think even with their partial coverage, they certainly covered it much more than he's covering this. Because his coverage is essentially, he saw a headline that said a bridge collapsed, and then he just jumped on live and like, oh my goodness, the bridges are falling apart, infrastructure in China. I mean, he went on a tangent. He didn't even just like talk about just the bridge. He's talking about China. He tries to say the infrastructure bill is a joke, and then he's showing quotes. I mean, how do you go so far in on something like this just based on you seeing a headline that says a bridge collapse? Again, even as biased as the Jacob Blake coverage was by liberal media, it was far better than his coverage of this bridge collapse. Just debate me channel, debate me comment section below. Click on the like button, subscribe, smash that bell. Be well.